In 2010, Kia released the third generation of their Sportage, and it was really one of the first cars that showcased a new direction for the brand in terms of styling and execution. And because of its success, it's now become one of the company's most important models. And now they're trying to raise the bar just a little bit more. Cue the entry of Generation 4 of the Sportage. Less of a leap forward than the previous model, but still a car that Kia claim is an improvement in every way. Reading the press release on this car is like going through a summary of the car manufacturing process, and there's almost no aspect of it that they don't mention. Styling, obviously. The interior has also been reworked. The engine lineup consists of either new or revised power plants. Then there's the steering and the suspension and the braking. There isn't a single thing on this car that either hasn't been replaced or re-engineered. In fact, as far as I can tell, there are only two things that are left over from the previous generation Sportage. It's the same width and the same height. With all the changes have come a very obvious change in attitude. The most obvious changes are also the most comprehensive. The styling of the Sportage has been redone entirely, with the front end now getting new headlights and a new grille, and the rear has also been reworked. And the whole result is that it's now more aggressive than ever. It's no longer the sleek, slightly soft roader that it once was. There's something about the rear of this car that really agrees with my sensibilities. Something about the slimmed down headlights and the way they seem to stretch across the entire width of the back end that makes it super modern and really appealing. The Sportage still has its chunky stance, but with its new all-round restyling, it's a package that is a lot more cohesive. That idea of a lot more is also going on in the interior. This SX spec gets things like keyless operation, electric heated seats and sat-nav. And also a lot more buttons, which I just don't get because as time goes by, all our other appliances, televisions, microwaves, phones, they're all making do with far fewer of the things. I know they can't do away with them completely because scrolling through menus on a touchscreen to lower the temperature of the aircon isn't the safest procedure while driving. Still, there seems to be an inordinate amount of them in here. Perhaps it's the way they're organized, a bit like an organist's keyboard, that's off-putting. Still, the rest of the setup is very good, typically solid build quality with great materials and comfort. Space in the rear is as good as anything else in this class, and the boot space has grown by just under 40 litres. Powering our test car is an improved version of Kia's 2-litre diesel motor with 130 kilowatts or 400 newton meters, driving all four wheels through a 6-speed automatic gearbox. As for the drive, well, I'd like to say it's about on par with what you'd expect, but really this car has only done 500 kilometers, so it is brand new. It's had no time at all to loosen up. That makes it a little difficult to make a definitive call on what it's like, although the initial impression is that despite its newborn status, it's really quite okay. Cruises well, shifts smoothly up and down the gearbox, and the whole package responds well enough. While that may sound a little uninspiring, this car has some definite strengths. The first thing is the ride setup, which deals with rougher surfaces with ease, and it also means that the Sportage isn't scared of cornering. It feels confident and sure-footed, even at decent pace. And then there's something that is really quite surprising, and that's how impressively quiet this car is. I'd spent the previous few days driving a Mercedes-Benz S-Class, and while the big Kia isn't as quiet as that, it's not far off. Panoramic glass roofs are often a source of noise at highway speeds, but in here, it's virtually silent. Kia has concentrated extensively on reducing the Sportage's interior noise. Everything from the wheel arches to the windscreen have been given the once-over in order to make for a quieter cabin, and it shows. The third generation Kia Sportage was a bit of a mold breaker for the brand, and now this fourth generation has taken all that was good about that car and improved upon it. I can't say I'm a fan of all the changes, but it's now more refined and more attention-grabbing than it's ever been, and those are never bad things. Improved styling, better engines and a ride setup that's one of the best in its class, the new Kia Sportage should have no hassle keeping its flagship status within the Kia stable. The interior may be a little too button heavy, but it's also a well-spec'd space that offers good comfort.